Off really strong here in the group stages. They defeat Sync Esports 2-0. Real quickly, okay, so before we get into all this, I want to clarify one thing here. So there was a little bit of confusion with how the standings work and everything here in the group stages. So with it being a best of 2 format, again, it is a little bit different as far as like how the scoring system works and everything. It is actually a point-based system. So I want to make that very clear right off the bat. It is going to be a point-based system. You get 3 points if you happen to 2-0 a team. You only get 1 point if it's a split, 1-1. So both teams would then get 1 point. And if you go 0-2 against a team, then obviously you get 0 points. So in the case of what happened there for the first series, Reason Gaming starts off with 3 points. Sync Esports, well, of course, they have 0 points. And how that works, again, it's going to be based off of points there. So getting 2-0 is pretty important, to say the least. You kind of get that bonus point there. If there happens to be ties, first off, it will be head-to-head. If one team went 2-0, then, of course, they would get the advantage. But if they did split the series, then from there on, it would actually be based on the amount of kill differential in those involved teams of the tie. So obviously Druid's winning both of those games. You would take into consideration if they happen to tie Sync. Well, they would get the advantage anyways because of the head-to-head. But anyways, it'll all work out in the end. It's the point there. So, but kills, so slightly a little bit more important perhaps. Worthy to keep in mind. But anyways, that's all that. I'm joined by Snooey once again. Here we are with our second series, Snooey.
Yes, here we are. And just to clarify as well, it's the top 4 teams out of 5 that move on?
Yes.
To the bracket, okay. And so the first place plays the 4th place, and second and third clash.
Exactly, yeah.
Roger. And we're on the same page.
All right. We're all good to go here. Anyways, we are developing with a draft here, so let's start talking about what we see here. We got Puppet Master, Warbeast, Behemoth, Flux were the bands. You see Reason Gaming taking out the Flux, so there's Krake. Solid with that here. Oh, not going to see it here. Ophelia first pick, though, in a Moira. Moraxis in an MOA. And then Midas coming out. But how about the value of Master of Arms here from Reason? It's pretty early.
Yeah, I don't think that I've seen Reason Gaming. I think it's been mainly Sync that has been running this Master of Arms, so probably a little bit new for Reason. It's good versus the Ophelia, of course, with that second ability. It's good for counter pushing, so that might be what they're looking for here. But the short shot, his stun, the first ability, it's very easy to just Arcane Shield if you're Moraxis, and even Midas, his Elemental Warp. I'm pretty sure that you can time that and just disjoint it with that ability as well. So I feel like Druids are still well prepared going up versus a Master of Arms in this game. They got the Moira here, so could potentially be a Moira Master of Arms mid, for example.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see that potential there. So, Master of Arms, though, again, we happen to see it in Sync's hands last series. We'll see how it works out for Reason Gaming this time around. Didn't necessarily work out the best for Sync, to be fair there. So, but they do get Tempest themselves, so that's also going to be fun against Sync. Played Tempest both of the games last time around. And ultimately what was losing efforts here, but Reason going to give their shot at it. I'm sure it will end up in the hands of Tankafet here. That said, look at the bands.
Yeah, Master of Arms, I would prefer to see him in that mid role instead, like a dual lane mid or something like that, or just 1 versus 1 mid, I don't care, but I don't necessarily like to see him in that hard carry role, as Sync has been putting him on Flamesmeister, because yes, he got, like, he scales well into the late game, but he doesn't necessarily have the best farming potential, and like in team fights he just doesn't stand out. Like, for example, for a Swift player that have Swift slashes and can pick up a Shroud or a Portal Key, just have so much diversity, Master of Arms is still quite predictable, to say the least. So hopefully we get to see Master of Arms in that, mid, maybe pick up a little bit more of support items, like a Tablet of Command, not necessarily the Astro, but yeah, more towards that team fight.
Yeah. Drunken Master and a quick response there from Reason to go with that Swiftblade pickup, perhaps. Again, we like to talk about that matchup, how Drunken considered pretty good against him, and he will have that goo to take advantage of as well, coming out from Master of Arms. As far
True
as
that,
physical damage
that was what
goes.
Sync was trying in game number 1 as well, with Drunken Master and Master of Arms, and then they had Kraken as well with the Torrent. So similar. Pestilence, yeah, Ophelia, or Ophelia Cernia is making the point here that...
What? Called it. Called it! Yeah, so they do go Pestilence. Interesting.
Nice heads up. Yeah. Pestilence been touched for, I don't know, forever? Season 1? when was it? Yeah, it was Stay Green that used to run it a little bit at least. I think that was during season 1 mainly though. Season 2 it kind of died off.
Well, there was a patch that happened, I think it was going into Season 2, yeah, where he got some crazy buffs. Like, he actually got some really good buffs for him, and obviously a lot of attention was brought to him because of that, and we did see him quite a bit. So, he got toned down a little bit since then, and, you know, maybe with the meta, just other heroes also kind of popping up, more of the initiators, such as Meraxis, and things like the Kraken, the Magnus, of course, Behemoth, things like that, where just have kind of overtaken what role he usually played. But I've always stressed, I've always been a huge fan of this hero with that said. I thought the idea of it's always, he has a very strong initiation with that impale. He can frequently use it. On top of the flight ability, it allows him to, you know, be very mobile in fights. And then the Swarm. What is it, minus 18 armor at level 3? Yeah, jeez, minus 18 armor. I mean, that's ridiculous, especially if you got some good physical follow-up from, say, well, a Drunken Master here. So I like it.
Most of our farms, the offensive ability or the offensive ultimate scales very well with Pestilence as well, because it actually allows him to, on his own, get those pickoffs. Yeah. Usually Pestilence doesn't have too much burst damage in terms of like, or in comparison to Pebbles or something like that. So he's always dependent on like, having a teammate nearby, and I think that's one of the main reasons for why he actually died off a little bit. Usually, like Pestilence, he can't do anything before he gets at PK. It's safe to say it's too easy to dodge his impalement. Like you can see him coming, even with the flight. You need like level 2 or level 3 in the flight before you can actually, you know, get some real movement speed and actually catch people off guard. Level 1's flight does nearly nothing. So probably going to be positioned in the safe lane, I would assume, just to get that fast pull key and just try to snowball out of there. But his second ability, his Impale, it deals so little damage now, and it doesn't stun for very long either. He was a little bit nerfed after that, at the time when he was picked up pretty much in every single game by Stay Green. Now it's deal 50 physical damage, level 1. 50! Like, that's the same as one out attack, more or less. And it doesn't stun for very long either, so there's still a great amount of concern regarding this hero. And I know for a fact that the Balance Call, for example, are looking into him a little bit and, you know, want to maybe buff him up a little bit, but that's still a little bit away. So let's see here if Reason still can manage to come out of this one.
I will say, Zibbe playing the Midas here once again. He played this quite a bit yesterday against Sync Esports. On Sunday, I guess, but in the grand finals against them for the Deadeye Bounty League, of course. So he's going to be playing it here yet again for Druids, and played it very well with that said. He liked to do this whole Striders thing, getting the portal key ASAP to follow it up, even then post-haste early on. Very interesting. But, yeah, it's going to be, well, will he go that same style, or will he maybe go more traditional once again? We'll see. But things like the post-haste buff, it seems like it has been grabbing attention, though, to several people on the competitive scene, as far as now being much cheaper to ultimately not only get the Striders first, but then, of course, the post-haste on top of that now. So, becoming more of a prevalent item on the scene. But
that it has. And Sibbe are just one of those heroes, or one of those players as well, that just loves to run around and be active, just constantly be a threat for the enemy team. So Striders suits him very well.
Yeah.
It's rotating around the map, rotating around the lanes. I mean, all you need is level 4 now. You don't have to wait for that level 6 to get your ultimate. Level 4 is all that you need, and after that, I mean, if you have the Striders, why not?
Mm-hmm. So, the lane's setting up, though, right here, and sure enough, Zibbe is heading towards top. You got Meraxis going middle, and, well, Swiftblade heading bottom, so nothing out of the ordinary here from Druids. Running the defensive pseudo-Trilin, of course. Same thing on the side of Reason, as they will have... Oh, okay, well, so they're going to send Pestilence top. Yeah, I guess you did mention this, though, that Master of Arms expect a middle right here, so nothing too crazy.
And Pestilence doesn't necessarily do too well in that mid, because it just... There's no way that he can get his impalement off unless the enemy just mispositions himself big time, so it makes sense to just get a fast pull key. Maybe even Alchemist Bones, actually. He is up versus an Ophelia, and I know that that was something that Swindleman was preferred back in the days.
Yeah, alright. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that is true. We did see him pick it up in that short lane a couple of times. You mentioned that. I do remember, so. And that was even before, it was actually bottom lane. Oh my gosh. Zane may die right here. Yep. Zane goes down. Probus with the final auto attack to do him in, but obviously kind of caught that halfway through. But simply, Zane just got out of position. Rhapsody's a great boxing out hero. And you throw a Swiftblade on top of that with the spin damage. I guess that equals a kill.
Yeah, that it is. He picked him up to counter the Swift Blade, but as far as the laning goes, Drunken Master, as long as Legion team keeps the lane as a like down here close to the tower, I don't see Drunken Master getting a single level. Rhapsody, there's nothing that he can do. And Midas up at the top lane, what's going on?
Uh-oh. Also in trouble. There's the Elemental Warp. Okay, he's going to be good. Unlike the Drunken Master, Zebe will survive there. Playing the Midas.
Cerny, I got the Marchers now as well, so this is a nightmare for Zane.
Yeah, that's going to really help here. Obviously, Drunken.
No, wait, he doesn't.
Wait.
It's,
those are. Yeah, I was wondering why he's not outrunning him. It's like, holy crap, Drunken's fast. But that makes sense. Okay. He's buying them for him. So he's basically a courier right there for Drunken Master. There's the small things like that that are kind of nifty. So obviously what happened, he shared his hero with him and had him buy him on that hero so that he could bring it to him. So some nifty teamwork coming out. Obviously, you see that all the time with Bottle in the middle lane. Sharing it. Passing it off.
Yeah, Iceland Gogo, by the way, in the forest doesn't have the most efficient creeps. He got a Skeleton King, and I think he was involved. I think he got assist. No, actually, he didn't get any assist gold. He wasn't involved in the kill on Drunken Master. And Drunken Master, speaking about him, look at his position right now.
Where is he? Oh, jeez, yeah, that's
funky.
Interesting. Might as well get farmed somewhere, I guess. Yes.
Like how dare he though? Like how does he have the nerve to go over there?
Yeah, right. Well, that's probably where they least would expect it, to be fair. So
that's a good point.
Just gonna do it here, and he's gonna be fine for the time being. You see Ophelia reconnecting currently, but is not necessarily. Well, he might actually be heading over there now.
Like if Drunken Master gets level 2 from this camp and he just goes for a kill onto Meraxes in the mid, that would be hilarious.
That would be pretty
because
funny.
Arc and Shield are not haven't been picked up by Kraken, by the way, which I personally feel is a mistake. Especially when you're versus Master Farmers, 1 versus 1. I guess, I mean, you need access, but I think that it was Mickey playing a 1 versus 1, and he just completely ignored his Quake Stun. Because literally, you don't need it during the laning phase in 1 versus 1. Not versus a ranged hero. There's no way that Imbo Boy, he is so disciplined, he's never going to be caught off position by his Quake Stun this early on with Meraxes doesn't have Marchers.
Yeah, well, he is low right here, so the possibility is real from Drunken Master to come over and set up a kill, as he mentioned, especially if he's at level 2. Obviously, he doesn't have a lunge just yet, so we need that level 2 mark to do so. While we're in the pause here, it gives us a little bit of time to talk about, again, the schedule here in full, shown on your screen. Again, this is over the next two more days here now. Obviously, after this series will be done. We got 2 more games here, though, but tomorrow as well as Thursday going to be coming back at you. Now, as you see, there's obviously going to be 2 games happening at each time frame over the next 2 days. So obviously only going to be able to cover one of those here on Honcast. However, I believe Matthew Manical said he's going to be looking to cast the other series, whichever one we may not be casting. So hopefully at least everything will be covered in a sense there and get some dual stream going. But definitely some great matchups, of course, when you have the 5 teams that are going to DreamHack from our region at least. It's bound to be everything's bound to be a good matchup. You know, we were talking about, how to set it up to maybe make sure we get some good ones here on Honcast. And looking at it's like, there's never not going to be a good matchup, frankly, with these teams here that we need to be worried about. So it's all bound to be good, especially with the start that we have here, man. Again, if you're just tuning in, Sync Esports losing 0-2 to Reason Gaming and off to a very slow start, to say the least, here in the group stages. So the top 4 advance on. So only 1 team not making it into the brackets. But again, even the brackets, it's a double elimination. Or, excuse me, it's single elimination. So even more so important that the standings there going forward is a pretty big deal. So that'll take place over the weekend here between all these teams coming at you. So yeah, that was really interesting. I know you give a shout out to the Panty show earlier. I was also tuning in for bits and pieces of that yesterday, and having a player from each team is definitely made for a pretty fun format there. And
that it did.
I like how the whole premises of the show was kind of to get them to trash talk each other in the end. But
exactly.
Clever idea.
And that's one topic where they were to mention the top 2 players from each team. and they were allowed to pick themselves, or they were actually going to pick 2 players from their own team. I'm just like, oh my god, this is going to be so awkward. But in the end, I mean, I think they handled it quite well. But,
Yeah.
it was hilarious at least.
It was some fun stuff, yeah. Clever idea, like I said, and look forward to maybe more things like that from just community in general. It's always good to see, you know, things popping up like that here and there, and helping to have more fun, more content for every Han fan to enjoy.
Absolutely.
There, so. All right. Looks like Iceland Gogo is returning. So as soon as he's back in, we'll be good to go. Moving on here. He's not using the new Pestilence skin, by the way. I'm a little disappointed in that.
I was actually just about to say that. It's disappointing. Because that one looks really cool. At least I haven't seen it in practice yet, but
I know it's been getting some interesting reactions. This Instant Invader Pestilence, because I can kind of understand it, the skin itself. It does look very like not fully finished almost, but I think that's almost on purpose. Like it's just very smooth. It's a very smooth look compared to others. But apparently the abilities themselves are actually really badass. I haven't actually seen it yet, so. I was kind of hoping
it looks like an alien, or a Pokemon.
A Pokemon, there you go.
Like there was this, I can't recall the name right now. I'm sure the Twitch chat will help me with that. But there's like this one
a certain Pokemon.
So familiar
geez.
with, yeah.
Who would it be?
I don't know. It's one of those. No, I'm not gonna go into that right now. The game is on its way now again. They're on pause,
right.
so.
Fine. Drunken Master, he's still finishing off the camp over here. There we go. He hits level 2, but I don't think he's going to be able to be sneaky enough to go for a kill. Yeah, it's not going to happen. He runs away, in fact, but hey, he takes a little bit of farm away from Ophelia with that said. See, Ophelia was attempting to stack the yellow camp right there, but doesn't even get it off, and she has a Vulture Lord, so that's unfortunate. Wasn't able to get some nice farm out of it.
She got a double stack over here, at least at hard camp, so...
Oh, yeah.
The Vulture Lord is going to come in handy. Here we go.
Vulture Lord, a strong minion to have if you're Ophelia, for this reason right here. Can pretty much take out any kind of stack to deal with. Middle lane, Moraxis. Again, taking a lot of pressure, but going to be fine for the time being. Drunken Master, where's he now? He's going top, jeez. He's trying to be useful anywhere he can.
Yeah. What else can you do? It's just so difficult to draft suicide heroes nowadays. There is just no way. Like if the enemy team picks up a hero like Rhapsody, you're like more or less like, okay, I'm screwed. There's no way I'm getting levels in this game. And then you have to do these kind of transitions. So I still think it's the right choice by Zane. But unfortunately, yeah, he's going to be spotted by this Ward of Sight here, placed at the top rune. So not going to get too much done.
Ooh, Ophelia, good job right there destroying the bottom rune with her minion before Drunken Master or anyone else gets to it. So. Top rune was picked up by Moira, just a refreshment though, using her illusion to do so. Good job as her part as well. I was going to say, you know, you mentioned the Alchemist Bones idea on Pestilence, and I almost thought we were possibly going to be seeing it because he was pulling up quite a bit of gold right there. But he buys Steam Boot, so with that, probably not going to be seeing it. You would think usually would get it before Steam Boots even, just like ASAP, but...
I think he feels the pressure from Sibbe on Midas. He's level 4 now, and I feel like if he wouldn't have had any movement speed whatsoever, I feel like it would have been a problem for him just staying in the lane.
Yeah.
So probably the main reason. And of course they got a Tempest farming the jungle as well, so might not want to take up too much space for him.
How about this? Tankafed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Zlapt invented the build, because frankly I don't know, but Tankafed's going the same thing that Zlapt's been doing lately. Here with the Tempest. I almost thought it was Zlap for a second, but then I had to realize, wait a second, no, this is Tankafed playing it for a reason. So maybe this is going to start becoming a thing on Tempest.
Yeah, that is interesting. Here. Oh, top lane Midas.
Yep, they're going for a kill. Moira in the flank right here, but good job by Midas killing off the illusion before he could Shards of Harkon there.
That was really one of those situations.
Drunken goes down.
Well played. Yeah, I haven't reached. Oh yeah, he's just level 2. Well played by Probask. But yeah, that top lane, that was one of those situations where, like, do you really need to channel your illusion? Like, he was next to Pestilence. He was just hiding in the trees. He could have just ran out and just used the Shards of Harkon on Pestilence instead, and I think they would have gotten the kill.
Yeah. Well, 6 minutes in right now. Obviously, a 2-0 start in favor of Druids right here. Abyssal Skull already finished on Probusk, so he is off to a fantastic start here, to say the least. Ghost March is already picked up on top of the Abyssal Skull now, and he's continuing to go at it. Of course, the kill even helping there. 460 gold per minute. I'm almost a little surprised Zane's back down. I guess with no Swift Slashes, though, he's not as scared, but still. he's barely, well, he just hit level 3 at least, but yeah, he is completely under leveled still in this matchup. And if Ophelia was to come in for a gank, I mean, that could once again be another easy kill. Is that the real Moira? It is. Wow. She's very deep in right here. Has boots, but hard to use them effectively if you're going to be trapped in like that. Ends up going down, so well played by Druids. Again, I'm a little curious what Moira was doing that aggressive.
And his bot lane.
And again, bottom lane. Yeah, that's what I was saying, though. Drunken Master, okay, he is going to survive. Look at that. Swiftblade's going to pour it out. What a smart move.
I'm pretty sure the Swiftblade can just turn it around, though, and kill Drunken Master.
Yeah?
If he would have had a crit as well, then he would have had it.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like...
that would have been risky.
Exactly. Master of Arms is level 7 as well. He could have had a shield. He didn't have mana for it, but that might have been what Probus was thinking right there. So
yeah,
probably the more, or the safer choice at least.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but yeah, I think it's just a case of, you know what, this is a Suicide Dragon that's continuing to struggle. Do I really want to commit to a kill on him, knowing that it's not 100% guaranteed that I may survive? So plays the safe route, and he does survive. Wait. Okay, gosh, I always hate that when you look at the inventory to the left. I was like, he has an Abyssal Skull and a Ring of the Teacher? But no, he just has the Ring of the Teacher. He only has the pattern for the Abyssal Skull, so yeah, he hasn't actually finished it yet. But he is looking to finish it here in the very near future. So yeah, he didn't actually have lifesteal on him at that point, so that's a little more reason as to why maybe he chose to play the safe route there in the end. Yep. But Midas is going once again. The Strider's build into the Blood Chalice, as we're talking about.
Look at this top lane, by the way, from Hellborn. They are looking to put pressure on now, and it seems like the Legion team are more or less thinking the same, or at least they are reacting to what the Hellborn team is doing.
Yeah.
So 2 towers for both teams incoming, possibly.
Well, we'll see how that develops here. Again, the Astrolabe on Tempest, of course, is a really impactful tool for doing this too. So there goes the top tower very quickly. As far as Druids, they're not nearly getting as much of a push.
I don't even know what happened. How did Iceland Gogo's creeps get that low? And Probek as well, he's super low on top of that. Oh wait, Morax or Drunken Monster.
Yeah, he gets caught by the Master of Arms, pops the Master's Call on him, gonna keep him alive. Nice destroy with the stagger as well. And he will survive in the long run. I thought for sure he was dead, especially when the Transmute came out, but that Master's Call, that's why it's such a great ability, and perhaps why we're seeing more Master of Arms players lately, especially after the changes and buffs that he got to an extent, so coming into play there.
Monster of Arms once again rotating. He was down at the bot lane to stop the push at first, but okay, never mind. He's not gonna rotate that way at least. Okay, he's gonna take the safe route, but he's looking to defend his mid tower, and it seems like the Hellborn team so far really are getting the better end of this.
Yeah, they are. I mean, right now, Ownme leading the way up here once again. Midas, he is setting up to kind of hold it, but he can't do it by himself. He needs help here, so it's a matter of will he get that backup from his team or not. I mean, the tower's just about dead, so...
They got an Astro on Tempest. I don't think they can TP in. It's way too late. They're going to give it up.
Oh, he tries to deny it, but a little too early. But again, it was very difficult. And Tankafat will get credit. Rhapsody is going to be found by Drunken Master in the meantime. TPs are coming in. Looks like Tempest is here, but Rhapsody, she's trying to do enough damage to Drunken Master. That's not going to be enough, though. Serenia is going to fall, maybe get killed by the Ancients. Even the Ophelia's touch used right there to try to help her, but that wasn't going to be remotely close. Yeah, that was almost a little silly at that point. Wasted cooldown, really, as she was basically dead. But look at Pestilence, by the way. 2,300 gold, so he's going to go to the shop right here and buy his portal key, it looks like. And booyah. So he already has that.
It's a great tool. Definitely, they could potentially go for a Kongor attempt this early on. I don't think the Legion team can really defend it too well. They need a portal key on Moraxus, or at least Astra on Ophelia. I'm not sure if she got it. No, she's only 200 gold per minute. Yeah. She's half the gold per minute of Tempest, and both of these two heroes have like had complete free farm throughout the entire game.
Trying to jump Midas up here at the top lane. Didn't get a gore proc though. Oh, nice deny by Serenia. Middle lane. That's not easy to do once again, but got it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Arcane Shield. No, that's a haste. Okay, haste turned on to Moraxis. He runs away, got the kill on a near first. So good dive coming out from Krake, and he's farming 353 gold per minute. He has 1,700 gold saved up, so he is getting close to his portkey himself, actually, and that's going to be pretty crucial for Druids right here at this time.
I really feel like Reason should try to capitalize on this moment. When they got a PK on the Pestilence and Moraxis doesn't, I feel like they should either try to go for a gank attempt or just go for the Congo kill. Legion team, though, they are grouping up to push mid. I don't think that it's the right decision. They know for a fact that Pestilence got a pull key as well, because there was a ward spotting him out down here at the bottom. So this is very risky.
Yeah. Pestilence, he's ready. You see, they're just using the minions, though, so that's where it's actually pretty smart from Druids, unless it gets denied, which it looks like it is, actually. So the attempt was there, but well played by Reason Gaming. In fact, back-to-back denies. As Zane also takes out the bottom tower. Look at Swiftblade diving bottom lane, by the way. He pops his untouchable. I was going to say, he has untouchable, though.
I'm pretty sure he could have baited that as well. This ward, by the way, is doing so much work. Placed by Cernia down here, spotting the Pestilence now, once again porting down here to set up a kill on the Swiftblade. There is really nothing that they have that can catch the Swiftblade at this point. And, like, he's got a lot more farming capability than this Pestilence. Pestilence is dependent on getting those early kills.
Yeah.
If he wants to start snowballing. There's no other way around it. Sure, they got Master Farms as well to transition into the late game here for Reason, but I still think that Swiftblade is going to get out of control unless they shut him down somehow or bring the pressure over to the Legion side.
I think that's almost where Pestilence obviously is maybe a little bit weaker than the other initiators, is that he has an ability that is RNG based. You know, it's not just the if this happens or if I press it, it'll do this, kind of deal, or all these other initiators have, where he's, with that gore proc, like I said earlier, he went for the kill on a Midas. If he got a gore proc, it could have very likely happened, but he just happened not to get one. And that's just, again, that's the Han gods coming into play right there. So he is somewhat reliant on that, too, as far as at least getting kills himself. Now, granted, again, his initiation is still very strong with the Impale, but I think you're right, though. He's been looking for kills with that portal key, and thus his farm is really slowing down quite a bit now because of that, and it is showing. He's dropped all the way down to 323 gold per minute here because of him roaming around quite a bit, but still having 0 kills and 0 assists. That is an issue.
At this point, Alchemist Bones would have shaped up much better for him.
Oh yeah, that would have been the much better choice, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised if he has the same mindset now too, but obviously he's already committed at this point, so can't really be changing much here. I will say Tempest is kind of farming like crazy. He even gets Ghost Marchers here on top of the Astrolabe, another 1,100 gold saved up, so yeah, he's over 400 gold per minute. Jeez. Sycophant's managed great farm here.
Yeah, it tends to be something that Tankafet just does. Like every single time, it doesn't matter what hero he's on. He always manages to find a lot of farm on those force heroes.
Bottom lane, more push coming out. Looks like Midas and Swiftblade, they're trying to find an opportunity. Swiftblade already level 11 as well, so he's got those level 2 Swift Slashes to work with, but not going to really find an opportunity there in the end, as Drunken wasn't risking too much, and for good reason there. He definitely would have been jumped. It looks like, by the way, Imba Boy is going for his Thunderclaw on Master of Arms here.
Yeah, so at least he's going for a little bit more of a greedy build. I like that. They definitely need something to transition into the late game. Sane on his Drunken Monster is just, like, he's got a little bit of experience now. He's level 8, but there's still a long way for him to go before he's going to be able to do anything significant in this game.
So 15 minutes in right now. It looked like Reason Gaming was going to be off to a pretty good start there with the push in earlier and the early portal key on Pestilence, but again, have not been able to make the most of it. And now you got Moraxis with the same, and the top farmer continues to be on the Legion side, specifically that Swiftblade and Probusk. And by all means, he is a scary carry, not only as a player, but definitely potential as a hero. I will say, I think yesterday he actually went even the Rune Cleaver, from what I recall, on Sunday against Sync. But this time he is going a little bit more, you can almost call it like a traditional style. Energizer, Abyssal Skull. I assume we're just going to see a Firebrand next, so keeping it pretty routine here.
Yep, and that was the game that they won as well when they played the Swiftblade in that hard carry role versus Sync earlier or last week.
That's right. That was the Doombringer game. Yeah. Was,
Two Doombringer game even.
That's right. Yeah, that's all coming back now. That crazy, crazy game. Guys, if you missed that, you need to check that one out. That was, what, Game 3 of the Grand Finals, I think? Yeah.
Yes.
So, definitely check out that one if you like to watch VODs of Han matches recently. But, again, point is, he's doing another good performance here on the Swiftblade carry. Yeah,
That is,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. No, I definitely agree with the choice. This choice of this game, not going for the Rune Dogs, because I feel like even if he had the Rune Dogs, he's not going to be able to stand a chance versus all 4 heroes on the Hellborn side when it comes to like the late game. I mean, Tempest, of course, with the lockdown, they don't necessarily have the best way to deal with him. It's the Swift Slashes and it is the Skeleton Kings from Ophelia, but that's about it. It doesn't have anything that's really like a safe card, so to say. So them grouping up with Ophelia now when he got to play the Greaves and the Astro, I think is the right decision. And therefore you need those auras like Firebrand now. I would just love for Druids just to take as much map control as possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we saw them yesterday again. That was one of the biggest things we talked about in the sync matchup was where they got massive auras early on in the game, but again were they really using it to the fullest is kind of the question there.
Oh, look at Master of Arms, by the way, in the forest.
He's gonna be fine though. Yeah, gets out with that defensive match's call. No stun at that point. Obviously stun to initiate, so Master picked up on that, and pretty good reaction on his part with that set.
Definitely, yeah, that's an instant decision that he made. Most people were probably panicked and started running away, but that might have cost him his life. Emo Boy thinking one step further.
Pushing the bottom lane. Middle lane is being pressured, though, by Druids, but not going to be enough, and they'll get pushed out by Reason, specifically Master there. But yeah, again, speaking of MOA too, MOA, not a typical hero we're used to seeing him on. I know Quincy isn't here today, unfortunately, but I would assume that he doesn't have many games on this hero, if honestly any, that at least that have been tournament matches coming out. So
yeah, not that I can recall at least. I think it's a fresh new hero for them.
Yeah.
At least for like the last year or so. I'm sure that he played it during Season 1, Season 2 when it was a little bit more popular. But for lately, no, it's probably a fresh one.
But again, that kind of goes back to the idea of this event. It's teams maybe a little bit more willing to try different things here. Maybe especially in Reason's case, knowing that they're off to a great start here now with the 2-0 victory over Sync earlier today. Once again, in case you missed that. But speaking of auras, okay, so this is a little funky. I mean, Sacrificial Stone just picked up by Zibe. Of course, that does not stack with Plated Greaves, though. So it's the idea of, I mean, it's still good for himself, and this is a heavy physical team. So can you warrant it? Do you think it's okay?
I think it's alright. We saw him do this versus Sync in the Dead Bounty League as well, and it seems to be something just a personal preference of him. And it's going to, you know, stack up a little bit. Oh, Tempest at the bot lane, by the way.
Yep, they're going to be jumped, but nope, Tempest, he comes around with the Elemental Void. Pestilence, he was in and out, in and out. He did not want to commit to that. He ends up falling back, and now Tempest, he's in a lot of trouble. Pestilence, you might as well just run away in full at this point. Don't even keep yourself close because you've already made the point that you're running away. Tempest will get picked off. Meanwhile, Tankafet, Nier also goes down on the Moira, actually. So it ends up being a couple kills for Druids.
I'm pretty sure he was controlling the illusion right there, Moira, Nier. Because he was down trying to help Tempest, Tankafet, down in the bot lane. So yeah. One of those funky situations. That's, of course, the downside with the heroes. You need to have full vision or full control on both your main hero and the illusion.
Yeah. This Conqueror now, it's going to fall quickly, so Swiftblade, I'm sure, going to be picking up the Token of Life. And they're going to really work off of that. Did he get something else, by the way? I don't know if that's his. That might be his Mighty Blade. Yeah, okay, it is. Ward of Sight put down. It looks like the Hellborn team, they may be interested in maybe trying to stop this, but they're not going to. Well, maybe, actually. Pestilence flying in. He's going to get there just in time. Did he get the token? No, he did not. Swiftblade got it first. He's spinning like crazy. Meanwhile, Arcane Vortex in the background. Moira's going to have to fall into Moraxis as Drunken Master will also go down despite having the help of the Black Legion. And Pestilence, he's just flying away. So Swiftblade gets it, and he is still diving. Tankafet gets caught off to the side. That is a pretty big deal. Swiftblade, he doesn't have Swift Slashes, but again, he has the token, so he's not too worried right here. He's still going. I think it's finally going to end, though, as far as the pursuit. Tempest, maybe not, actually. He still goes in right here. He doesn't have an Elemental Void. Tankafet's in trouble now. The spin comes out. Swiftblade diving really deep here. He will get the kill, but at what cost? He's actually going to fall, so token is going to be used.
Mana protect the Melody from Rhapsody. He needed 2 mana at that point.
Oh, that would have been huge. Could have actually saved him. So, okay, I mean, the token is used at least, I guess. There's something there.
That was like, it was a high risk from recent gaming, but I definitely think that they made the right decision because that could have just as well turned into their favor if they were the one to actually get a token instead. Swiftblade was bashed by Kongor, but unfortunately somehow Pestilence wasn't able to see the token or locate the token, so Probuck still was the one that got it in the end.
Yeah, must have played a lot of Diablo 2 back in his day. Spamming clicks like crazy right there.
That's true.
And, able to pick it up in time, so well played by Probusk. Again, it is used in the end, but hey, it wouldn't have got the Tempest skill if he didn't have a token right there, so that's you can kind of say it was used for good reason, but
yeah, but the Hellborn team at the same time, they would have bursted down that Swiftblade straight off if they were to get a token instead. But now when he actually was the one who picked up the token, there is like more or less panic. They were just like, okay, no point killing Swiftblade, we need to get out of here. So if they would have had a token instead, then they would definitely have killed Swiftblade instantly.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Onmi, he's found at the Ancients. There's a warded site here placed by Serenia. So you got to think that they're aware of that now, but unfortunately it cost them a death. On to Pestilence, who, again, this is a short lane priority farm Pestilence. That's now 290 go per minute. So reason set up for him to have a great time, a snowball performance, kind of like a Pebbles would. But he did not get that at all. I mean, he's 0-1 and oh, gee, yeah, they only have 1 kill still. Jeez, that's kind of just hitting me.
He doesn't deal any damage, so I guess this is the reason for why we don't see Pestilence anymore. Like he just doesn't provide unless he can get to a snowball state. He just get tons of farm somehow.
Well, and again, he's reliant on RNG with that gore. I think is a big deal too. The fact that he's kind of hoping that a gore procs to assist on some actually decent damage, but.
Drunken Monster are down at the bot lane, by the way. They are looking for him. Are they going to find him? No. Nice try.
What about Zane going the Helm of the Black Legion first here, by the way? I guess he was struggling here and everything, so. Wanted to
personally, not a fan of it. I don't feel like that's a good item at all to have. I feel like Bulwark would have been much better. Just, it suits the hero perfect with physical armor, presence, and all that. Just Helm of the Black Legion. I mean, I'm sure that he felt a little bit desperate being so far behind, but Helm of the Black Legion, I'm not sure if that's going to change too much.
Top lane, Tempest. He's in trouble here, maybe. Well, no, actually Ophelia's the one in trouble apparently. He's dropping, but the Astral APO comes out, but Master of Arms will cut him off. And so Ophelia is eventually picked off, so caught in a bad spot right there, and her minions also end up falling, so how tragic that can be for Ophelia.
Yeah, one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yep. Just to go get those minions again.
It's the same with like the Whispering Helm. For some reason, people just tend to lose that creep all over again. Like at least in team matchmaking, everyone gets a Whispering Helm, then they place the creep over at the Ancient, but a minute later he is still dead because nobody keeps control over him. At least that's my case. Usually, I never play the hard carry. I always play support. So if I saw at some point pick up the hard carry in team matchmaking, I always forget about the creep.
No, yeah, it's definitely not something you may usually remember. But yeah, in these tier matches, we do see, especially like when Probus plays Malachian, for example, we definitely have the minion be picked up and stacking the Ancient. So they seem like they're usually pretty good on the top of that. But yeah, every now and then maybe forgetting about it.
And usually the competitive teams share control as well, the support share control with the hard carry, just so that he can be in charge of all the stacking going on, so that the carry can focus on other things.
That is very true. Look at Zibby, by the way, getting a plate mail here. He's going to be going the Frostfield play, but again, this is a lineup where this is probably one of the few times where you could actually say, all right, it kind of makes sense here.
I think it does. It's definitely going to make him like one of those. I mean, they have the Miraxes to be in the front, but Midas, I mean, he got so much damage in his spells already, so it doesn't necessarily need those offensive items. A Polki, of course, is good for positioning, but at this point, they're not necessarily looking to go for this kind of pickoff. They're just looking to get Swiftblade into that snowball state, or like that 500, 600 gold per minute, so that he can carry. And speaking of Swiftblade,
is he in trouble down here? He certainly is, actually. There goes the Elemental Void. They're using everything to get the kill for good reason. And it will be a successful kill. He has buyback. He's dead for 65 seconds with that said. And actually in the front lines, that's an illusion chasing them down. But that is a big kill. Kongor's not up yet, though.
Balls of steel as well by Tankafet, because he did not use the BKB. He had a BKB up, but chose not to use it. If someone would have been in the neighborhood, so to say, from Legion, then that could have been devastating, because there were 4 people on top of Swiftblade. If Moraxis would have been nearby with his Quake Stun, that would have been disastrous if Swiftblade got his Swift off as well. So greedy, but luckily for Reason it worked out.
It did. Yeah, you're right, though. Maybe a little greedy, but hey, it paid off in the end. And he did end up using the Shuriken, actually, to get out in the end as he was being chased down by Moraxis. Yeah, and it was actually, it's kind of funny because at that point it was actually unnecessary. He had already gotten away, and his TP was going to be successful. But he ultimately used it just in case. So there he was playing safe, and he didn't necessarily need it. But anyways, he gets away. But that is now 1 less second. But, of course, on a Tempest, that's not necessarily a huge deal. Even at 5 seconds, it's still very powerful because you're really just using it for the Elemental Void and nothing else.
Yeah,
so.
That's a good point to make as well because, I mean, for hard carries, it's one thing to have a 10-second BKB because they're going to be in the middle of the fight, and, of course, they don't want to be locked down or focused. But a Tempest, I mean, as long as he gets the Elemental Void off, his job is done.
Yep. A 4-second duration of the Elemental Void, so as long as it lasts during that, then, hey, that's what matters for him there. So, but yeah, it's safe to say, again, Druid's mentality here is stacking the armor. Plate of Grief, Sackstone, the Frostfield plate eventually coming, the Abyssal Skull they have, so they do have plenty of it. But again, Pestilence, now granted he's only level 12 still, so at this point he's only dealing -12 minus armor, but still -12.
5 levels lower than Swiftblade at this point. That's... Okay, they got most of arms that have more or less tackled the whole carry role for Reason, but still, I mean, 2 levels up below both Suicide Midas and Moraxis. That's not optimal. Not optimal.
So they're collapsing the middle lane right here. Gonna maybe try to get this Tempest. Tankafet, he's feeling pretty confident. He's gonna get caught here. The Skeleton King, he pops the Shrunken Head, he's running in. He does not have Elemental Void. Moraxis in the background stuns Drunken Master. Several fights going on. In the midst of it right here, you see Moraxis is going to be pulled back in by Drunken. Master of Arms dishing out some good auto attack, but now here come the Swift Slashes from Swiftblade. He's doing a lot of spread damage, not enough on any single target though. And he has to fall back actually. He doesn't even have spin right now. He's kind of just charging back in, but he really is not doing much damage in the end. Tempest in the meantime though, he's being chased down nice down to the last second. It's going to barely keep him alive. And he is ultimately going to survive, it looks like. Wow. Unbelievable he lived. Moraxis finally goes down. And that was the only death other than No! Tempest does get picked off. Good find by Zibby there to finish it. Takes out Tankafet.
Oh, well played by both teams to an extent. Tankafet is standing his ground in the beginning. Definitely the right choice. But in the end, Swift Slash is dealing a little bit too much damage to the point. And Elemental Void not being up definitely hurt Reason big time in that fight. But... nice counter initiation by Crack at the same point, catching 3 heroes for Reason, and now Rhapsody seems to be. She's dead.
Yeah, well, there's actually a find over here, a response more so. They got the Cone Rhapsody, but obviously coming to the cost. Drunken Master goes down. Master of Arms jumps in. Nice follow from Pestilence, applies the Midas Sword, but even look at that. Midas, the playmail and everything, he's still standing strong with that sword. I mean, he has 29 armor, and that's with a Swarm debuff on him. That is absurd. Moira, in the meantime, getting locked down as Swiftblade gets a bash proc with that new Brutalizer of his. But now he's on the run. Pestilence comes back in, applying the Swarm debuff, getting ported back to a Swiftblade. I don't know if that's even the best decision. He could actually fight this. Oh, wait, he got purged? No, he doesn't have it. How did it? Oh, he spun. That's right. He spun it off. Tempest goes down right there, but Master of Arms now is going toe-to-toe with Ophelia, and he will get the kill first right there. A double tap for him. The chase continues, though, at the top lane. Pestilence will get the core proc. A couple more auto attacks. He's so tanky, though, and it's not going to be enough. Unbelievable. And finally it ends, but so many things to discuss what happened in that fight. Jesus.
That was pretty crazy and lasted for like 40 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I think there was a Skeleton King that interrupted Tempest ultimate, by the way.
Was it? Okay. So good stop there. But yeah, but again, Swiftblade, he was getting ported back, but he spun right after. And that takes it off.
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering for a second. I was like, wait, did they have a no fire blade or something? But he didn't have it at that time. He does have it now. But no, then it connected. He's like, oh, well, he spun, so.
That's unfortunate for them. I guess it can be a little bit much going on in Skype right there when it comes to communication. So someone like or Ophelia actually putting that Ophelia's judgment or what is it called? Yeah, Ophelia's judgment on Swiftblade in a chaotic team fight might sometimes, yeah, communication doesn't go through, and it's hard to notice it. We notice that, or we rarely notice it as spectators, even when that green buff is on you.
Yeah. But again, I will say the auras that they have here on Druids, it is showing big time. I mean, Pestilence is going around applying the Swarm debuff, and we saw how especially Midas was like almost as if it didn't even matter, because he just has so much armor on him alone, let alone, again, the team auras together. So that definitely is proving to be very significant here.
I would almost want him to just go for the Demonic Breastplate as well, just for the cost.
That is kind of true. I mean, they don't have a Soul's Bulwark yet. That's the one more obvious one. Oh, they do. Okay, Ophelia has one. Okay. So they do.
Alright, missed that.
And he's keeping it defensive, and I think that's for good. Now, oh, I guess it doesn't work against counter right here. So, but yeah, he has a defensive here, and that makes sense. So that's good to see for this Legion team. Even more armor. That is the problem with drafting a heavy physical lineup, is there are multiple items that can be picked up on the other side, and they've done that here. To help
both having Pestilence and Drunken Monster might have been overdoing it a little bit. It's because both of them are so reliable on that physical present, or that physical damage. By the way, they got a bulwark on their own. Sane picked one up on Drunken Monster, so at least they got that going for them. But it seems like Druids are going to go for a base push right now. Elemental Void still down for another 25 seconds.
It is, and without that, you know, you can't feel the most confident. Pestilence just got a Shrunken Head, by the way, so going to make use of that here in this fight, most likely. When are they going to go, though, is the question. Tempest, 15 more seconds. There goes the tower. Top lane, a little bit of counter push, but being ported back here, or more so porting back on Tempest. So Elemental Void going to be up in 5 seconds now, so he has it up again. He doesn't have a portal key, though. So as far as positioning goes, he can't necessarily guarantee the best here.
Other than the Skeleton Kings, though, where is Tank of it or Iceland Gogo's creeps? He doesn't have any. He does have one Vulture in the front, but that's it.
You're right.
So as long as they lock down the Swiftblade, that's going to be a full Elemental Void.
Yeah, that's true. And you see Ophelia going over him, but that's another Vulture Lord. Are there any Skeleton Kings in here in general? Not that I can see. No, yeah, there's none in the Legion or the Hellborn jungle, so you can't just go in there and maybe pick one up. There is not one in his own jungle right now either, so really unfortunate circumstances here.
They got the Tablet of Command on Rhapsody, so in case Swiftblade is not in the middle to stop a spin, then Cernia might be able to actually push him out of the Elemental Void.
All right, this is pretty tense right here. This is a big, big fight right now for this game. Swip, and look at that damage, man. He's already at a half-life. All the minus armor together. I mean, even as tanky as they may be, it still adds up. And, jeez, he is almost dead right here. Finally spins away at the last second, but yeah, we keep talking about all these auras and the armor that they have, but it's still a lot of minus armor when it adds up here.
Ophelia is so far in the background as well, so I don't think the Demonic Breastplate is actually reaching Swiftblade at this point.
I would also love to see an Ice Ogre from her this game. And this is also a game where that would truly be beneficial, but anyways, they continue to push again. It's so close, though. The melee Rax is taking some good damage, but Probusk, he knows that he can't just all-out commit by any means. They do have good burst here.
Yeah, not necessarily in a rush either. There's plenty of time left on the token, so I like Druid's decision not to force anything, just to keep it safe. Let Swiftblade get back to full health before they continue. There's
a jump on to Swiftblade. Look at how fast he's going to drop right here. He is going to go down. He does have the token, but can they position themselves appropriately? He just spun right there, so he's going to jet on out of there with the Energizer.
That was unfortunate. I felt like Reason Gaming should have capitalized from that moment. They should have had Tempest go for an Elemental Void or straight with Swiftblade respawn. That would have been a secure kill.
I was just about to say the same. I have no clue why they didn't.
Tankavet was for some reason positioned far, far back in their own base, so he didn't make it in time. Even with the Ghost Marchers, he just...
You know what? I almost think that he thought that Ophelia still had Skeleton Kings. I mean, that's possible, I guess. That maybe he just thought that so he... Even if he went for it right there, it would have been stopped immediately. But obviously, as we pointed out, that's not the case. Ophelia didn't have Skeleton Kings.
Oh, and look at the top lane. Pestilence are looking for Midas. He got a Bound Eye as well. They do not want to lose this.
Uh-oh. He's going to try to run away. Frostfield played. It will stall Pestilence a little bit on the pursue. But now Moira coming in, the Mana Sunder. There's the follow-up stun, and then minus armor. He drops the Bound-Eye hoping to kill it, but he couldn't do it in time. And it's picked up by Drunken Master, so a very, very big kill right there for Reason Gaming. Coming out, and the game continues now as far as pushing other lanes
this
out.
goes, Midas and Meraxus are not your typical late-game heroes. Midas can do a lot if he gets the Sheep Stick and the Restoration Zone, which we saw versus Sync earlier during Sunday's match. But still, I mean, look at the Hellborn team. They got so much late-game presence, not only with the Master of Arms, but they got Pestilence and Drunken Master, and Moira, of course, which is one of the more respectable late-game supports with that Arcane Vortex, can completely just nullify Swiftblade Ultimate.
Yeah.
Or just keep him out of the fight for however long that lasts, 5 seconds or so.
Dancing Blade just picked up by Swiftblade, by the way. So the Wingbow going to be coming out for him. You do see a Savage in the works for Master of Arms, though. He's got a Slayer right here, and that's obviously pretty significant, especially knowing that a Wingbow's coming. Rhapsody is going to be fine here. She Talbot's away, but yeah, I mean the Savage on MOA, he's going to be able to burn through Swiftblade still pretty quickly. Having that here. Uh-oh, Moira getting caught out. Master of Arms going to try to save Arcane Vortex even coming out. And I think that will help keep her alive. They're still chasing. They do not want to overcommit this, though.
Oh, it's going to connect one axe. That should be enough for the kill.
Oh, Jesus, no. But now here comes Pestilence. He jumps in, pops a shark in the head. Not the same for Reason, though. Don't overcommit. Tempest is not here. He's running over.
He's coming, though.
He's coming. He does have a Portakey now, by the way. There's a Swift Slash. He has a lot of damage on the Drunken Master. Tempest, he's waiting, though, for the right time. He's not using it just yet. He drops the Meteor. He's saying now's not the time. And actually, Swiftblade's still going to pursue. In comes the Purge. Again, there's no Skeleton King still. Yet Tempest is being very passive with his ultimate choice. And he's going to try to blink away. He will go in right here with an Elemental Void. He catches Midas and Rhapsody. Shrunken Head wears off, though. It eventually is stopped. Protective Melody comes out. And it will save Midas in the background. And now they're chasing further. Master of Arms goes down there on top of it. Yeah, Tangafed, he was very passive there with his ulti choice.
I think it was alright, but he should have just ported back and just tried to save the situation as best as possible. It was alright that he didn't use his ultimate to start with, but why would he jump in when the BQB ended in that case? And everyone was dead. That was questionable. And now no buybacks, expect one on Master of Arms, and him solo can't really do anything. 2 lanes, yeah, that's going to be it. There's no way that the Hellborn team is going to be able to recover from this one.
That's a little too much right there. You do see the vote to concede coming out, and GG well played. So Game 1 will go to Druids here, this best-of-2 series, so congratulations there. But yeah, very interesting finish there in that final fight. I mean, I see what you're saying at the very end there, but I really think Tangafed had a prime chance. Right after the Swift Slashes wore off from Swiftblade, that was the time. Because Tempest got a portal key to go into that fight, and I feel like that could have been the turn potential, but you know, jumping in the first place from Own Me, you could also argue as was maybe a little too much there, a little over the top, and so that may have backfired on them too. But
yep. How did you know, by the way? How did Druids and Reason, when they clashed last time in Dead Eye Bounty League, what was the score? Was it 3-1? Was it 3-0?
No, they were in the Dead Eye Bounty. They were in different groups. They did not play.
No, but I meant in the playoffs.
Oh, in the qualifiers?
They were playing. Yeah, they were playing in the loser bracket.
Oh, losers bracket finals. That's right. Yeah, it was. It wasn't at 3-1. I want to say. Yeah,
something like that. Druids were having relatively easy time at least versus Reason, and once again in this game, coming up 1-0 here in the first game versus a team that just more or less. Well, I maybe shouldn't use the word destroyed, but playing very confident, taking 2 games versus Sync Esports. So it just surprises me how well some teams does versus certain opponents, and yeah, versus Druids for some reason, Reason struggles.
Absolutely. Well, anyways, we'll see how they do in game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We got game number 2 coming up right here. What's going to be the final game of the day here, no matter what happens. Should be a good one though. Druids versus Reason.